One of the prettier places in the province of Nova Scotia, definitely the public gardens. They're the Halifax Public Gardens, tons of history. One of the many people that went here and loved it, Winston Churchill, a poet, certainly a historical figure, and I dare say someone from my history books, although she doesn't remember me at all. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Doane.
The history books? Wow.
No, I'm just...
Way to set me up.
Well, no, here's the thing. I remember, and I'm only saying this because Melanie Doane, I've loved her, and I'm surprised that she even took this interview, quite frankly, because I remember, when I interviewed you in Edmonton, talking about when you first started out and you had that inflatable sofa and you went all over, remember? All over Nova Scotia, or Halifax.
Yeah, well, all over. I was near the Bay of Fundy and in my mom and dad's yard, and yeah, I had that floatable thing. Inflatable.
I loved it.
It was cool.
Yeah.
The coolest.
It is the coolest.
Where is it? Why didn't we bring that?
Well, I don't know, because I just looked at the video for Back to LA, and you can see a snippet of it because you took all kinds of highlights.
That's right.
So I love it.
It's a mashup.
We've heightened security around the park because I'm with Melanie Doane, who I love, and One Sweet Clue is the new album, or released in April, I guess.
Well, it's an online only release.
Which is crazy now. What's the deal?
Whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's fun.
It is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And now you've kind of been doing that all along, which is one of the reasons I love. Yeah, you've been in movies, you've been you're bi-coastal, you're everywhere, right?
Yes.
Take me through it.
I'm answering yes to everything.
Okay, well, you've got it all going on. So you started out in Halifax and Nova Scotia proper. So how did it all transpire? Just take us through a synopsis, if you will.
Oh, dear me. Well, that's going to be boring, but...
No.
Well, I went to school here, and then I was going to be a music teacher, so I went to Dal.
Okay.
And I was studying music, and then I auditioned for the Neptune Theatre, and I got a part.
Nice.
And so I was going to take the year off of school, and then I got another part, and then I had 2 years of solid work with Neptune, and then I moved to Toronto, and I was like, now it's a third year off of school, then a fourth year, and then I just was there, and I was working, and I was working in theater actually, and then started working as a musician, and then started touring the country, and then started writing my own stuff, and then got a record deal, and blah, blah, blah.
Wow. She says blah, blah, blah. I go, woo, that's awesome. Now, I want to take you back just to Nova Scotia, because, CNBC is all celebrating the 4 Atlantic provinces. And it is a celebration.
Proper thing.
You've toured all around.
Yeah.
Just give me like a couple of highlights, just one from each province. Like, can you think of any? I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
Well, I played in Hampton, New Brunswick last night.
Oh, did you?
2 nights ago, sorry.
Okay.
2 nights ago, a new music spot, which is great. So go to Hampton, because they've got a great new music venue. And who knew? It's brand new. Everyone, Ron Hines was going there the night after me. So and Garnet Rogers, my cousin, was going 2 nights after that. So it's become a hot spot. So that's cool.
Yes.
I can let you know about that.
How about Newfoundland?
Oh, well, Newfoundland,
Probably couldn't narrow it down, eh?
No, of course not, but I have fond memories of being there the first time ever for the ECMAs years ago, and performing on the show, and just, the hospitality and the craziness.
Did I mention she's a Juno winner? She is.
Well, thanks.
You are.
Thanks.
All right, go ahead. So tons of places in Newfoundland. How about Prince Edward Island?
Well, I'm actually going to play there tomorrow night at Harmony House, which is another, I have to say, a highlight of a spot if you're looking for some music. I'm going to keep it around music here.
Sure, well.
Of course, the beaches, everyone knows all the regular stuff. But there's a little church converted into a music hall called the Harmony House, and run by a couple, and they are fantastic. Every bit of it is hand carved. Its acoustics are amazing, and so if you want to go see some music
we'll put the link up.
If you're there on holiday, and just check out where, Harmony House, and go see some music. So that's a good spot. Okay,
well, you talk about Harmony House. I'm going to try and do a terrible segue here. Harmony House, musical background. You come from it when you talk about it. Chalmers Dome is this lady's daddy.
That's my dad.
Yeah, and so you grew up around music. And how many instruments could you play if I put you on the spot?
Well, if you had a bunch, I would try whatever you had. But I'm not so much a wind player, but anything with strings, I've taken a crack at it.
Right.
But I started on violin and ukulele. Obviously, ukulele was big in our house, and orchestral playing and classical music, obviously too. And then my dad would say, "Pick up the bass." "Oh, I don't know how to play the bass, Dad." "Pick it up." So a couple years later, I was pretty good.
Wow.
And my brother and sister are phenomenal musicians, and so we've all become professionals, and we try to keep up with Dad.
Yeah. And now, how about your mom? Any musical
amazing. Oh, absolutely. I mean, my dad was a little more flashy about doing it around the town and teaching so many people, but my mom mom was the volunteer teacher at my school. She taught the ukes in my elementary school. So she was my teacher.
Yeah.
And she taught hundreds of kids who came through when we used to live near the Dingle at John W. McLeod School.
Oh, shout out.
Yep. John W. and my mom was the teacher there. So she's extremely musical. She just does it a little more subtly.
And how about your kids, though?
Yeah, I started a ukulele program at their school this year. So now I'm the uke teacher at my kids' school.
Oh,
and every school in Toronto now is clamoring. They want uke at their school.
Who wouldn't?
Of course they do. So I'm kind of trying to help out some of the music teachers.
I was going to bring, my daughter has a pink ukulele, and I was
Nice.
going to see if you could teach me something, but
Totally.
I know I'm hand-to-eye coordination not so great. So let's move along, and let's just talk about it, because so many people out there think, oh, Nova Scotia this, and maybe we'll go there on a holiday. And you live in Ontario now.
I do now.
And you come home, and I say to you, Melanie Doane, what's the first meal you want when you get here? Where are you going? What are you eating?
We had lobster last night at the house, and I had chicken burger for lunch.
Where did you get your chicken burger?
At the Chicken Burger.
Of course, in now Bedford, right?
Yeah.
Bedford, the Bedford chicken burger.
Beeline for Bedford. It's a beeline, no matter every trip. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now we talk about the music scene in the Atlantic provinces, and it's unbelievable. And you've performed with so many of them. Take me through some of your favorites. Like if I was to say Melanie Doane, who would you listen to? Who would it be?
I have to say, I haven't been a super fan of very many people in my life. It's just not my style. I can really, really love something, but I don't consider, getting all fan crazy.
Right.
But for the Rankins, I was a crazy fan.
Yeah.
I just went out of my mind for them. Partly because I did have some connect. I had met them as a young person. I knew them personally. I felt I did, and I just thought, wow, they are doing it. They are doing it, and they're so great. And I listened to all the records so many times, over and over and over. So, huge fan. Also, I have to say Sarah McLachlan, because she went to our high school. She was in choir with me and my brother. He was in a band with Sarah, and I used to think, oh, those crazy, what are they doing writing songs in the living room? Silly nuts, And then, sure enough, both of them still, my brother's a producer and Sarah, of course. So anyway, I always have got a lot of inspiration from her, and then went on to do Lilith Fair the first time around, which was great. And she's the same. She's wonderful, very, so supportive and always right there, like, Melanie, great to see you.
Yeah.
And, I love that about her. So there's a couple that I did become super fans of.
Cool. Well, I'm a super fan of you and your music, so let's talk about it. We are, it's One Sweet Clue, and I've seen, and because I love your music, kind of an evolution, but certainly your messages really talk about what's going on. Am I right?
I don't
with
know.
you? I don't know.
What's going on with me is always right there, for sure.
Yeah.
But, the past, I put a record out a couple years ago, and it was really influenced by being a mom and what it's like to be really immersed in that experience. And it's heavy duty, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is heavy, and I think people appreciated that I was kind of saying, yeah, it's hard, or it's scary, or I'm terrified, or it's wonderful, and all the things, it's all of those things. And I really had a need to express that. And then now this new stuff that's coming out is a little more rockin'.
You're breaking free, girl.
Kind of
out
rockin' again, and that's fun. It's fun for me to we did some mellow, now I'm rocking some more, so
nice.
It's good.
Well, that's good, but you can see it all live when you're performing.
Yes, yeah.
It's a medley, if you will. And you're touring how this time? Like
right this minute, I'm touring just as a duo. Okay. Mike Borkowski's with me. He's been playing with me for years. So when we do the big full rock band, he's rock god. And when we do this show, he's we call him the Borkestra, Mike Borkowski, the Borkestra, because he plays so beautifully. He can do 20 parts on his guitar, and then I just pick up my instruments and do what I do. But
look, a Melanie Doane fan. What up? I mean, everywhere in the public gardens, it's great. Have you ever taken your kids here?
Yeah, we come we spend about a month a year in Nova Scotia. My kids actually think they're from Nova Scotia, so I think that's a proper thing.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, we're so glad. I'm going to toast you and say thanks, Melanie, for taking the time
to you
for CNB Scene. And here's to Nova Scotia and the Atlantic provinces. And ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Doane.
Thank you.
Thank you.